I came back from a short trip to town and found a bulldozer carving a 5-foot trench through my front yard like it was building a moat. The HOA's logo was slapped on the side like it gave them permission to tear my land to shreds. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't just a neighborly dispute. It was war, and they brought a backhoe to a legal knife fight. See, my name's Lucas Brennan. Used to work in cybersecurity in D.C. Made a decent living keeping bad people out of important systems. After my dad passed, he left me a cabin by Clearwater Lake, Montana. Quiet, peaceful, untouched. So I left the city, the noise, the 20-minute coffee lines, and came here to rebuild the place and maybe, just maybe, breathe again. The first 2 weeks were bliss. No reception, no emails, just me, pine trees, and the occasional deer judging me from the woods. I upgraded the locks, rewired the cabin's network, and even sanded the dock my dad built in '78. I thought the only thing I'd be fighting out here was rust. Then Juliana Pierce showed up. HOA president from across the road, designer sunglasses, pearls, hair so sharp it looked weaponized. Drove up like she was hosting a fundraiser, not stomping into my gravel driveway. "You must be the new tenant," she smiled. Not a warm smile, more like someone about to flip your table in Monopoly. I told her I was the owner. She didn't flinch. "Well," she said, "this land borders the Emerald Crest community, and that dock, that's shared shoreline access." I laughed. Honest to God, laughed. My dad's deed is older than her Botox. I told her I had the original survey maps framed over my desk. The land's been ours since the '70s. No HOA ever touched it. She handed me her card like she was doing me a favor. I tossed it in the drawer next to expired coupons. But 2 days later, I saw them. Plastic flags all over my tree line. Surveyor's tape stretching like spider webs across my dock. No one asked me a damn thing. Then came the letter, stuffed under my door. HOA notice. You have 14 days to vacate and remove all encroaching structures. No legal code, no backing, just hot air and entitlement. That's when it clicked. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a play, a land grab. And Juliana? She'd decided I didn't belong. I didn't yell, didn't storm over. I just started building a new kind of firewall. Not digital this time. Legal. A few mornings later, just past 6 a.m., I heard tires on gravel. 3 men jumped out of a pickup, navy blue with HOA magnets slapped on the sides, neon vests, tool belts, crowbars. I stepped onto my porch barefoot, coffee still warm. "Can I help you?" I asked. The big one, shaved head, neck tattoo, probably flunked out of demolition school, grunted. "We're here on behalf of Emerald Crest. There's an unpermitted structure." He pointed at my shed. "That's private property on private land," I said, stepping between them and the dock. Another guy, looked barely 20, mumbled, "That's the one she mentioned." I asked, "She who?" "Mrs. Pierce." I told them they were trespassing, that unless they had a court order, they'd best back off. "We've got verbal authorization," one said. I snorted. "From someone who doesn't own the land? That's worth less than the lint in your pocket." They didn't listen. One reached for the shed door. I turned around, didn't say another word, just walked back to the porch, called 911. The dispatcher asked if I felt in danger. "Not yet," I said, "but check back in 5 minutes if crowbars start flying." While I waited, they pried up a foundation plank. I told them to put it back. The neck tattoo guy stepped forward, puffed up. "Everyone knows this is common land. You're squatting with a deed." I didn't argue. I just held up my phone, recording light flashing like a warning flare. He stopped. "Delete it," he barked. I raised an eyebrow. "Make me." A minute later, sheriff's deputies rolled in. Lights flashing, tires kicking up dust. The crew backed off quick, suddenly real polite. The officers asked for IDs, property surveys. I handed them my binder, laminated, notarized, geodetic survey signed to hell and back. One officer muttered, "Damn, you're thorough." I shrugged. Old habit. The deputies made them leave. No arrests, just a warning. Misunderstanding. Sure, if you call organized trespassing and attempted demolition a misunderstanding, but something about that morning stuck with me. The way they knew exactly where to go. How they avoided my security cams. I went back through the footage, and that's when I saw it. My neighbor, Joe Mathers. Vietnam vet. The guy who used to curse at squirrels and bring me tool recommendations. He was on the feed 3 days earlier, walking my property line with one of those same HOA goons, pointing, gesturing, shaking hands. I felt sick. Joe was the first friendly face I'd had out here. We fixed the dock together. I shared my dad's whiskey with him. And now he was the mole. I didn't confront him right away. Just started digging. Reconfigured my cameras, backed up everything to encrypted drives, mailed copies to my lawyer, Melissa Donner, because I knew this wasn't over. Next came the slow torture. Anonymous county complaints, health code violations, IRS audits, dead fish nailed to my dock like some twisted HOA message. It wasn't just a power play anymore. It was personal. And then the final straw. I was gone for 48 hours. Routine check-in with Melissa and picking up a new generator. I came home to find my lower yard gutted, torn up like a war zone. A trench carved down to the shoreline, flags marked Public Access Trail A. A backhoe parked on my lawn like it paid rent. I marched down there, heart pounding. 2 workers waved like this was casual. "You the property manager?" one asked. Another said cheerfully, "Community beautification project, ADA-compliant trail to the lake." I blinked. "You out of your damn minds?" "Mrs. Pierce said," he started. I didn't let him finish. "You've got 10 seconds to pack it up, or explain this to the sheriff and my lawyer." They hesitated. I called the cops again. Then Melissa. Then I stood in the middle of that dirt mess, breathing hard, fists clenched, ready to explode. That night I didn't sleep. I drafted the lawsuit. Trespass, vandalism, fraud, conspiracy. I filed it the next morning. Court day came. Small county courthouse, packed with neighbors, reporters, HOA board members pretending they weren't sweating bullets. Juliana sat at the defense table in pearls and a navy blazer. Same smug look, but her eyes? Not smiling anymore. Melissa took center stage like a queen swinging a sword. "This," she said, "is not a property dispute. This is malicious sabotage." She dropped the hammer. Security footage, emails, screenshots of HOA forum posts where Juliana called me a squatter. And the gem. A forged approval letter, complete with a fake county clerk's digital signature. Karen's lawyer tried to spin it. "Conflicting historical boundaries," he said. Melissa dropped a certified geodetic survey dated months earlier. This land was never HOA. Not in 1978. Not ever. And then came Joe. He looked broken, older, smaller, voice shaking. He confessed everything. How Juliana promised him a committee seat, told him I was a greedy developer planning to gate off the lake. He believed her, until she sent men with crowbars. He looked at me once, and I saw the shame. Not pity, just regret. Melissa closed with the invoice, $86.20 in damages, verified by contractors and drone footage. Juliana stood up and screamed, literally screamed, that I was hoarding the lake. The judge didn't flinch. You forged documents, trespassed, destroyed property, and incited criminal behavior, he said. You are guilty on all counts. Her sentence? 60 days in jail, 18 months probation, $80,000 in fines, loss of her real estate license, forced apology, HOA audit. As she was led out in cuffs, a kid in the back whispered, "She got smoked." I didn't cheer, just sat there, and finally let the weight fall off. So tell me, justice or just revenge?